Welcome
Yes, sir.
to the Grayson podcast, or Slightly Unfiltered. We'll see which name sticks most, but here we are, the first episode. Got my boy Noah McCarran right here. And
Pleasure to be on. Thanks for having me.
set up in our studio that we just bought and refurnished, and got our boy John in the back.
$750,000 you just dropped on this?
Yeah,
Or was it
$720, I think.
$720?
Yeah,
Yeah.
plus tax.
So we'll probably get an upgrade soon. It's kind of light, but
But yeah, here we go. First episode. This episode is mostly going to be about interviewing myself, about my life, what's happening. Noah's going to interview me. He knows me better than pretty much anyone. And yeah, out of all the people I know, I want to know on the first podcast, and hopefully as many as he possibly can be on for the rest of the summer until
yes, sir.
me and Kurt go to Asia, which we will discuss, because I will be in Asia in at least 2 months from now. And
No, it's a pleasure.
yeah, bro.
Pleasure to be on.
So glad you're on here.
Yeah. It means a lot that you wanted me on the first one, so I'm happy to be here.
Bro,
Looking forward to
as many as you can make this summer.
It means a lot, bro. I'm
Cheers.
looking forward to running this back and watching it, and seeing how foolish we sound at 20 years old.
At 20 years old, bro. 5 years we'll be rewatching this on our yacht. But seriously, bro. Noah's going to be interviewing me, as I said, for most of this, but I guess, bro, how rich do you want to be?
How rich do I want to be?
Right now, what do you
You want a
think?
numerical answer, or?
Maybe give me some items that you'd own, so I can maybe set the scene for me.
I don't consider myself...
Also, wait, one more thing. Before we get into this podcast, this whole point of this podcast is to be unfiltered as the most unfiltered as we possibly can. Therefore, we will be talking like a normal 20-year-old male in college. We will be cursing. We will be talking about explicit topics. Putting that out there, because the whole point of this is to be unfiltered. You might go, why are they filtering themselves? Well, that's the whole point of this podcast, is to not be filtered. So, originally it was unfiltered. However,
Yep.
3 minutes into the first take, we quickly realized we need to filter ourselves at least a little bit. So
At least until we make it.
At least-
then we
at
can say
least.
whatever we want.
But yeah, I mean, if we do cancel ourselves early, we set the standard
Of being canceled.
of being canceled. Therefore, we are uncancelable.
Uncancelable.
But dude, Noah, how rich do you want to be?
So I don't really consider myself materialistic. I don't really care about having nice cars, but obviously if I had fuck you money, I would buy nice cars. And I know me and you have jokingly theorized, maybe it won't be a joke one day, about getting a nice car and scuffing it or fucking it up online just to piss people off and prove a point that like
keying it?
Keying it, smashing the side window and then just like driving it down, just like a Lamborghini or something, just to prove a point that like it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Money's important. Financial freedom is important, but material things are very unimportant, and a lot of people put too much importance on them.
Yeah. But what can money not buy you besides health and relationships? And
Well,
you
I
could
think-
even argue that it could help both of those.
Oh, it absolutely can.
If you use it correctly,
yeah,
100%.
I think the obviously people talk about the phrase money doesn't buy happiness all the time. It's kind of over talked about, but I think the sense of the phrase itself comes from, if you spend all your money on material things, then money absolutely cannot buy happiness. But I think if you use your money, if you have a lot of money and you use it intelligently and you do use it to benefit your relationships, you do use it to retire your family, to, bring your friends out for a good time and show them things in life that they've never been able to experience before,
Bro, yeah.
then it absolutely, maybe it can't buy you happiness, but it can damn sure help
Dude,
help you and people around you attain, a happier lifestyle. So,
100%. But you've changed my mind on that. Noah
yeah.
has always talked about how he's like, bro, I want to be rich, like yacht rich. Mm-hmm. And again, my first rebuttal to that is thinking, oh, this dude's obsessed with. Any one time someone says that, the immediate counter in your head is to go, well, luckily I don't want that. I don't want to be obsessed with these things that don't mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to be clear. A yacht is one of the material things I would like to have, not for the sake of flexing a yacht. I don't care. Would I post it on Instagram? I don't know. Maybe, not intentionally. Like, I don't really care about showing it off, but I really want it just to throw freaking ragers on with our friends, and I think it would be lit, so...
And it's funny because I know that every single person watching this is probably just laughing at you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, until I make it happen, I'm going to look like an absolute idiot. So
Nobody,
feel free to
yeah.
make fun of me until I make it, and then who will be the fools?
That's true. But I just know that I can think of specific people watching this that will just kind of laugh.
Oh, absolutely.
It's crazy.
Most people in my family would probably laugh at me, so
It's crazy,
okay.
dude. Sometimes the closest people in your life
Doubt you the most?
doubt you the most.
Without realizing it?
Without realizing
Yeah.
it. But then again, to their credit, how could you believe in someone when they haven't really done it yet?
Mm-hmm.
And to the second point, if someone doesn't believe in themselves fully,
Yeah.
how can they believe in you fully? When
True,
you haven't
true.
even done it. Like that
But,
would be
if
that would be
they
a
haven't
leap
done
of faith.
something, I think there's another way of articulating it. Like if they haven't done something, if they've only reached to this level in life, like to them reaching this level just doesn't even seem attainable, or it seems like, an unrealistic.
Bro, yeah. I don't think many people really even believe in themselves to a small degree.
Oh, absolutely
Like
not.
Jesus says, if you have the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I seriously think that people do not believe in themselves at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like at all.
No, I don't. Well, I think most people don't. Yeah. I mean, some people do.
Like very.
I actually
little.
think people that hit rock bottom could just get to the point where they have nothing to do but believe in themselves. That's
Yeah.
why a lot of times you hear people that hit rock bottom, like, that's like the turning point for them. Well, like
It can be.
I guess if you hit rock bottom, it either is going to be a turning point or you're going to be at rock bottom forever. So it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's only up. And
Yeah, you can't go down. So,
I mean, you probably can though.
but I guess to go back to your question, because we kind of went on a tangent, how rich do I want to be? I would say enough to where I never, like, money doesn't ever cross my mind. We go out to dinner, we have friends, 20 friends over, and we want to go to an expensive sushi restaurant downtown. I want to be able to go get the check on me and not even look at it.
Yeah.
And not even like a flex, like, oh, I paid for y'all. I would never want to hold it over anyone's head, because I think that's terrible. But just to do nice things and create great experiences, honestly.
Bro, facts.
Because, dude, I'm sure anyone our age, like, except maybe the few people our age that are really rich already, and shout out to you if you are, but, like, most people our age aren't. So we always have to do, we go on a trip. Who paid for what? How do we pay them back? Like, oh, we need to pay this person this much, pay this person this much, like $30, meaningless amounts of money in the grand scheme of things. Like, it seems so stupid, but at the same time, it is important right now because
It is, yeah,
we're all
it is.
struggling. Like, we're not super struggling, but I mean, by no means are we rich. Like, you know what I mean? We are not rich enough to. We do have to care about $20-$30 sometimes.
I hate that.
Which sucks.
I hate it.
Because I'd rather not have to.
And
So-
I've let myself get pissed off at that. And then to realize being pissed off about something is not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
But
No. Yeah.
how many people, kind of second to that question, how many people do you feel in your life truly believe in you?
What do you mean in my life? Define in my life.
Anyone, friends, family?
Anyone that knows me?
Yeah. How many people really believe to you close to the degree that you believe in yourself?
One. You.
Wow.
I think that's it. I don't even think a lot of people in my life realize, like, the degree that I believe in myself.
Me too.
So, I mean, that's part of it. It's not necessarily all on them. Like, I don't even think I've necessarily articulated. I mean, I have. Sometimes it comes off in, like, a joking manner just because it's easier to say things lightheartedly than to go into, like, a deep conversation about it, and sometimes you just don't want to deal with it at the time.
Yeah.
So, you might. Sometimes I'll just say, joke around and be like, yeah, I won't have to worry about this when I have a yacht in like 3 years. And like, yes, I'd want that to happen, but I'm also saying it a little bit ironically.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if this is picking up on the mic, but
if it is, apologies. We'll try to refrain.
that's crazy, dude. I mean, think about that.
Wait, what would you say?
It's not more than 4.
Mm-hmm. I would. Well, I guess I can't really answer it for you, but from my perspective, I would probably assume it's definitely more than me, because I think you're more
I'm very
open and
social.
articulate about, like, what you want to do. So there's more people, and I also think people our age are more likely to actually believe in us than people older than us that haven't done those things. Because it's like, why is a 40-year-old that hasn't made $20 million going to think a 20-year-old can do it in the next 4 years?
Yeah.
From their perspective, it doesn't seem realistic. And if I were in their shoes, I'd probably think the same way. So I don't really blame them.
Yeah, no, me either. I don't really blame people who don't believe in me or people who don't believe in you.
Right. I mean, all we can really do is use it as fuel.
Yeah.
So, and And honestly, they're right until we prove them wrong.
Yeah, they are.
So right now they're right.
I mean, if they were, I mean, I was about to say if they were to bet money on, if everyone who said that, if they were to bet money on them, who said I'm going to have a yacht or I'm going to do this, how many times would the doubters win? But then my second thing is how many people really say that?
Say it like genuinely.
How many people straight up say I'm gonna be mega successful?
Yeah. Like
I'm gonna make an impact on this world.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not a whole lot,
dude. That's what it's like. Is the fighting few? Is there few at the top?
I mean, once you
how many people really climb the whole hill? To even how many people even try to climb the whole hill?
Yeah, like how many people even like step up?
Like,
to
and
the
most
hill?
people just kind of go, okay, I'm gonna settle here.
They just like look up. They just like look up to the hill and they're like, nah, that looks like a long hike.
And everyone halfway and everyone at the bottom, as you're passing by them, will basically tell you, "Good luck, but we didn't make it."
Yeah. Like just imagine people at the bottom, basically like it's kind of a good analogy because you can just picture like looking up at a mountain and you're imagine at the very bottom. The people that have barely made it off the ground, you could still see them and they're still in earshot, so that you can like kind of heckle them, like, "Oh, dude, look how much you have left to go." But the people that are like higher up, like they can't really hear you as much anymore. They're like up here, like your voice doesn't really mean a whole lot to them. People at the top, they definitely can't hear you, and they don't care.
They're at the top.
They absolutely don't care.
Bro,
so
as soon as
the higher you go on this, the closer you get to being mega successful or reaching your goals. I mean, the less that doubters' opinions matter. Not that they should matter anyway, but really the less effect they have on anything.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny when you see people hating on mega rich people. Like, bro, who are you?
Dude,
like this dude's literally worked his way up to owning.
That is so deep inside of each of us. I mean, dude, watch a group of people watch a football game and how many heinous things they will say about the athletes that miss a catch.
Oh yeah, like a pro player, like saying that he's
it's just
terrible.
And I know you could say, well, they're being sarcastic, but deep down, bro, they actually are that mad. People are angry everywhere about such stupid things, bro.
Yeah.
Such things that are, one, completely out of their control, and two, just irrelevant.
Yeah.
I mean, I genuinely think sports are taken so far to the point where it's like, bro, how do you not put this energy into your life?
Yeah, like the amount of energy people
The amount of just passion, which is, again, that alone is not a bad thing, but it seems so lopsided.
Yeah.
Like an angry mob, like, you can fire this coach. And I'm like, dude, how are y'all not protesting about
things that matter?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, that's actually a good point. I never thought about that.
I bring up the two questions about how much money you want to have, how many people believe in you, just to kind of set the scene for, give someone who doesn't talk to us all the time kind of some parameters on where we're trying to go with our life. Like, we genuinely, when I walk down the street and envision my life, I envision myself, like, literally impacting the world to a degree that is massive.
Yeah.
And I know that you feel the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know that together, this is our conversations, our every single day is, dude, we can make an impact on this world.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. And y'all can too. I mean,
anyone can.
Yeah, anyone can. So, do you have any more questions for me before I jump in? Because
no,
I definitely have some questions for you to drive.
Do you think that sets the parameters for what we're going for? Okay.
I think the conversations we've had thus far.
And I hope this podcast can get across from basically here on out what exactly I have lined up for my vision of my life.
Okay, I'm glad you said vision, because that actually goes into my first question, because I think having a vision is important. Doesn't even sum it. I think it's imperative. Like, if you don't have a vision, if you can't see where you want to be, then there's absolutely no way you're going to get there. So the first step, before you make a plan, before you do this and that, like, you have to have some sort of vision. You know, like, picture yourself where you want to be in 5 years. I think a lot of people don't. I mean, you go to college, like, people, I mean, I'm in college and people ask me, and I do have a vision, but like, it's not really one that I share with a lot of people just because I don't think they don't really understand. So a lot of times I just say I don't know, but so many people genuinely seem to just not know. They just like, so like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to be in 5 years? I don't know. Hopefully, you know, I get out of college and get a job and we'll see from there. It's like, bro, like, do you not think about that?
I don't. I think most people are legit NPCs. Not even in a, but I think.
Well, they could not be, but it's like they've like succumbed to it.
I think they've accepted it.
Yeah, they've like,
and they know it.
Yeah.
They know it. I was talking to the other day about my friend. We had a conversation. I was like explaining, like, bro, we got to get rich, dude. We got to get rich, dude. We cannot be these people at the bottom. Just, and when I say the bottom, I pretty much mean everyone not at the top.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like
we're
binary.
Our parents are nowhere near the bottom, but we envision ourselves being so powerful in terms of with our money, with our positive impact on the world that we would feel that we're at the bottom if we were in our where we are now, which is I think is a good thing because where my grandparent, my parents, my dad's parents, and in terms of money, like he leveled up.
Right.
And he leveled up. I got to study abroad. I got to, have a nice car when I turned 16. I got to have a Jeep Wrangler that I love. Like all these things. We got to have dirt bikes. My dad has this is all a level up. Again, these are all monetary, but it's allowed me to think bigger, and I'm so forever grateful for my dad for doing that. And my mom. My mom and my dad, they met at Dell out of college, and they were working so hard to level up.
Right.
And they did.
Yeah, I guess that's one thing we need to make very clear, especially if our parents are watching this. But I do think a lot of the times, it's hard to articulate our vision without almost coming off in an insulting or offensive manner, because we say these aspirations as if what they've built isn't enough, and that's not really what we're trying to say or what we're saying at all.
No.
So me and you are both very grateful.
Grateful.
Both of our parents, by no means. They worked, maybe they were struggling, I'm sure, at some point in their life, but they worked to a point where they are no longer, I wouldn't consider either of them struggling, financially, Like we said, they're not mega billionaires, but they're definitely not. They've worked their ass off to get themselves to a point, and then also to get us, their kids, to a point where we don't have to worry about some of the things they may have had to worry about. And like you said, that really what that does is that opens more doors for us to think bigger. So hopefully, if y'all are listening, y'all understand that.
Dude, yeah, that's what we're so grateful for, is that we realize that because of the life we have
doors open that they may not even have had open at 20. They definitely didn't have open at 20.
We have these conversations too. We're like, bro, if we want to be entrepreneurs, because those people are the people really making the big money.
Big risk, big reward.
And then we go, bro, if all else fails, we have a good high school education, we have a good enough network, we could guaranteed have a good solid job.
Yeah.
100% with little effort.
Yeah.
With little effort. Mm-hmm. I mean, in 5 years, if I was like, bro, I need a job, which I won't even be doing in that position. But we talk about if we were, we'd be perfectly fine. Therefore, bro, this allows us to think bigger, because they probably had to think, oh my gosh, what would it take for me to get a $100,000 plus job, a six-figure job?
Right.
And that was probably almost like, whoa. Mm-hmm. And now, look at us. We're in. I don't know if rich kids could, well, not rich kids, but rich kids could use that as an excuse to basically do nothing.
Or they can use it as a reason to go big.
As a reason just to be thinking more.
Yeah, and you definitely see both sides of the coin. I mean, in any somewhat wealthy area, you see both sides of the coin for sure. So it is interesting. But anyways, going off of, you mentioned vision. So I'm like I was talking about, I'm a very big proponent of vision. I think it's extremely important. I'm not really going to go into my business now, but with my business now, I'm really focusing on my vision with it, and I recently found a inability to articulate it with words. So I'm working on a visual to portray that vision. Yeah. To my business partner, Chris. Shout out Chris. At Chris Pyro.
Better be watching this, Chris.
At Chris Pyro something on Instagram.
Chris, you better watch it to the end.
So I'm a big proponent of vision, so I'm curious, what is your vision with this podcast and this platform, also what is your vision with just your life in general, let's say in the next 5 years? Like if you think, or whatever time frame that you think in most often, like when you think of yourself in the future and you think of this platform and this podcast in the future, where do you see it?
Dude, in terms of my life, I just envisioned like literally making history. Like straight up, dude. When I see a movie, when I see a documentary, I'm like, bro, I want to be a part of something. Mm-hmm. That legit, and I'm not saying metaphorically. Right. Like straight up. And I know that would end up resulting in me, I mean, you can't make a massive impact solely, like you as a person, without almost being super famous, pretty much. Yeah. Unless you somehow disassociated yourself with the... But I picture myself being someone who's talking, so I don't... Right, every time I envision myself just... Bro, I don't know, dude. I just want people to believe in themselves, and I want to make a massive impact on this world. So that's my life, vision. Where I see myself. Like, when I think of myself at 80, I think of... I can't see myself stopping, bro. I'm not a normal person. I don't really relax.
Right.
I can't watch TV. I am nowhere near a normal person, and so I guess that's kind of who I am. I never stop, and I want people to believe in themselves, because when people do what they want, when people follow their passions, it just brings me so much joy. And I look around and pretty much realize that you take 20 people, how many people are really doing what they love? It is literally maybe one.
One or two. Yeah.
One or two.
So,
and I think a lot of people will convince themselves, oh, I like my job. But I'm like, dude, are you really doing what you want? Like, you're capable of so much.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I completely agree.
I mean, that's where I want my life. And in 5 years from now, I envision myself having a lot of money, because I want you to use money as an amplifier to affect my life. So in 5 years, I guess I envision myself having a lot of money, probably being known, probably being famous for something in terms of, well, when I say that, I don't mean famous for like Kim Kardashian famous. I mean famous for someone who is, whoa, this person's making waves. Mm-hmm. This person is like waking people up.
Like ideologically.
Waking people up, dude. Like when I look at the life of like MLK, bro, like I straight up have thought like, dude, what if I made such an impact where I died for it?
Be a martyr.
And I was like, bro, that would make my life a success.
I mean, everyone.
That's how crazy I am in my thinking, and I don't know if this comes off as like egotistical.
I think some
does
people
it?
could take it that way, but I don't think.
I mean, it legit is for positive impact.
I think people could choose to take it that way, because a lot of times people choose to take things like that just for the sake of having something to complain about. But no, I don't think it's egotistical at all. I mean, I always, well, not that I always say it, but one thing that I've kind of thought about on and off is, first of all, we all die, right? Everyone dies. So if you have to die, and you're looking at life like a chessboard, which, shout out Top G, looks at life like a chessboard. If you're looking at life like a chessboard, and death is inevitable, then why would you not want to use your death in some strategical way? Like,
Bro,
and I don't mean that in like a scummy way, but I mean that in like, if you are trying to spread a message, like, if you have to die anyway, like, why not try to set yourself up to where that death can be used as an amplifier or as a tool for a positive force?
Dude,
So,
you're basically explaining the life of Jesus. I mean, the moment his impact made the most was when he died. What is the cross? It's the symbol of literally Jesus dying.
right. And I mean, it's ironic because like the people who were killing him for the exact opposite reason. They were trying to end it, and they just like
Exploded it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
To where it rocked the entire world, and we literally used time to talk about before and after.
his life. Yep.
Yeah.
So going back to your vision, what is? I think you gave a good. You kind of summarized your vision pretty well, I'd say. But is there ever do you ever have a visual? Is there ever like a consistent visual that you will think about from time to time? And I know you've mentioned to me before, but I'm curious to see what you'd say. Like where you just literally envision yourself doing something or in some sort of setting after you've made it. Because to me, vision and visual, they obviously have the same root word. Like a vision is, literally like seeing yourself in a certain way or a certain demeanor. So do you ever have a literal visual of yourself in the future? And if so, walk us through it.
Dude, I don't actually think I visualized I definitely haven't envisioned myself, for example, relaxing after I've made it. But when I think about actually, like for example, walking off a private jet.
Yeah.
Like walking out.
Yeah.
Or smoking a cigar in a private jet. Or having a yacht and being like, oh my gosh, all my friends are actually here. Like this is exactly what I wanted 5 years ago. I wanted all my friends to be on this yacht. But again, I'm not doing all this to get rich just to have fun. Having fun will be a big part of my life, but I want somehow to make a positive impact on this world, which is so general, but that's really all I can say right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like a genuine waking people up to the realization that they can be whatever they want, they can do whatever they want if they simply believe in themselves. Something along that lines. But when you say, what do you envision? I almost envision myself giving a speech.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good answer.
Like when I think of MLK, I have a dream. I just envision thousands of people. Mm-hmm. And just saying something that's so positive. And so radical, too. I want to be radical. In a positive way.
Yeah.
I don't want to go at it.
Controversial a little bit?
I don't want to go at it lightly.
Right.
Like, bro, like telling people, I mean, the people that have impacted me online, specifically one person, is because he just tells you as it is.
Right. He
Just
doesn't
straight up.
really care.
Like
how
you
people
are
gonna take it.
depressed, or because if I was in your shoes, I'd be depressed.
Right.
Like, bro, get up. You're fat. Like, get fit.
Right.
Get a six pack. Go out there and fix yourself. Like, stop wake up. Like, this is your life. This is your one life. What are you gonna do with it? Mm-hmm. And so I want to be someone who what do I envision? I envision myself talking to people,
No, I think that's a good answer.
giving a speech.
I definitely think that's a good answer. So, not to jump back and forth, but you brought up Jesus. What I know, religion and spirituality, although they're different, have you have takes that I think are interesting on both of them. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on religion and spirituality as a whole, and also how those have affected your life up to this point, and maybe how you foresee them affecting your life moving forward.
That's a great question, bro. My family's Christian, so I grew up going to church, and I became very, very involved in my churches, like 2 churches, sophomore year of high school, and I was just like all in. I fully believed everything. It was me. I don't know how to say it. It was me. Like, I was not Grayson. I was a Christian. Mm-hmm. Like, 100%. And it got to the point where it almost was too far. Where every single thought I would have would be, wait, would God do this? Would God have that thought? Oh, was that a bad thought? Oh, that was a bad thought. Like, it was insanely toxic.
Yeah.
And I went to the point where I was going, and I read my Bible every single day. I had such a close relationship with myself, with God. I was so in touch with myself. That was the positive part of it. I was so in touch with myself. Long story short, I ended up taking it too far mentally, and I almost just freaked myself out. Like, I was like, bro, this is not healthy. Mm-hmm. This is I'm sitting here crying because I think I've sinned.
Right. Yeah. That seems pretty intense.
That's very toxic. And then I went the other way, and I was like, okay, well, I don't believe that I even had a relationship with God. Almost like a year. And then something that I can't talk about, which is crazy because I can't talk about something that's brought me back to God, which we'll definitely be talking about at some point in the future. Along with reading a lot of books and just thinking about myself, something brought me back to the realization that my whole relationship with God was real. That relationship with God, whether that was a relationship with my inner self, which in Christian terms you could say is the Holy Spirit inside of you, I think it's really saying the same thing. So now I've come to the conclusion that in terms of Jesus' life, was Jesus the Son of God? Bro, maybe. Maybe he was. Mm-hmm. Maybe he did do all those miracles. Either way, his message is what I want to live out in terms of loving others, in terms of turning the other cheek, in terms of just spreading love and realizing that all these problems are just so stupid in the grand scheme of life. And he was one of the first people to come along and say that. And so I also read about people like the Buddha, or it wasn't even his real name, whatever Siddhartha Gautama.
I'm sure most people would refer to him as the Buddha.
I don't know. Am I getting off topic of the question?
No, keep going.
So bro, I was so Christian, then I was so non-Christian, and now what am I? I consider myself a Christian. I look up to Jesus a lot. I also look up to people who also spread love, like John Lennon. So I'm not necessarily thinking one-dimensionally.
Right. I think that's
and
important.
I don't see myself even arguing with somebody. Was Jonah really in the whale in the Old Testament in this book? Like, bro, what can we learn from this story?
Right. Like, who cares if it's real or not? Like, what
can we learn from this story?
It does seem like people get caught up in and argue and discuss things that are literally like you read this story, like, you're not even talking about the important part. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, this was real. Oh no, this was a metaphor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right and you're right. Like, what did y'all both learn from it? No,
yeah.
I completely agree. I think and I mean that can be extrapolated outside of religion. People like to discuss and converse and argue over a lot of pointless things in today's society, which does bring me to my next question. So obviously you want to be, at least in my perspective of your vision, it seems like you want to be known as a renowned thinker. like Socrates, like all these famous philosophers.
I'm the next Socrates.
Like other philosophers, like Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk is a great thinker. I don't really care how y'all feel about him personally. I don't think you can deny he's a great thinker. So given that you want to be a great thinker, it does seem that most great thinkers focus at least some of their attention, and usually a lot of their attention, on macro problems in society and in the world. So even though we've only lived for 20 years and maybe maybe the things we're saying we're going to look back on and be like, that was wrong. Maybe we're naive, who knows? But in this point in time, what do you think is the biggest problem facing society? Or at least one of the biggest problems.
Yeah.
It's probably hard to name one, but...
Bro, I don't know, because one of my first instinctual thoughts is basically the rat race, the whole game of... I'm not against capitalism, but the whole game of people being at the bottom and just never escaping. Never believing themselves. But then I go, that will always be the case.
Right.
That is just the yin and yang. There will always be that massive, the normal person who doesn't believe in themselves. So that can't be the problem. And I don't think it's something as simple as food or that people are starved. Dude, I don't know. My first thought is that people just don't believe in themselves. How many people actually just believe in themselves too a little bit? A little bit.
Or are you saying at least a little bit?
Dude, I'm not talking about a lot.
No, yeah.
When people get told no, how many people question no? I remember, oh, you can't get in here. You're walking into a bar. Oh, you can't get in. How many people go, okay, how can I sneak in? Dude, not many.
That's true.
And it's pretty much...
And we're not condoning sneaking in anywhere, but we're just stating a point that, think through why you're being told something and to think through ways to solve problems. It can be in many different situations than that, but I completely agree. I mean, not many people, it is getting to the point where people just listen and don't question, which is obedience, I guess, in a way. And obviously there's a lot of theories about if that's being pushed intentionally or not, and I don't know that we really need to go into that on this episode, although we probably will in the future. But what are your thoughts on...
I just think that people don't think for themselves. That's the number one problem. I don't know if that would ever even be solved, though. But
yeah, it would be...
I don't know if that... I just want to make sure I had an answer for
It's hard to say if that'll ever be solved. I mean, maybe we can make a dent in that.
I just think if we had a group of 20 people... Imagine a group of 20 people who thought for themselves and questioned everything.
And believe in themselves.
And believe in themselves. Bro, that is conquerable.
Disgusting team in a good way.
And if everyone trusted each other...
Yeah.
But that's very hard to come by.
Oh, yeah, that's... Well, I was gonna say that might be unrealistic, but then that goes into my next question. What is your thought on the term realistic? Because I was about to use it, but I also don't like it, so kind of ironic. That shows you my mind is programmed a little bit. I need to break free. No, I'm just kidding. But what are your thoughts on if somebody says be realistic or I'm sorry, sorry, y'all.
I don't even know what's picking up, but I hope not.
Be realistic or welcome to the real world. I hate that phrase. You do something,
bro.
My dad will say it sometimes. No offense to him, obviously, because I'd probably say it too, but just, something happens or I got to make a credit card bill or something. It's oh, welcome to the real world. I'm like, bro, it's said in such a to me, it's said in a way, not cynical, but in a way that's expect life to just get less fun and less exciting and just accept it. That's the message I get from it. Welcome to the real world.
And everybody
oh, that sucks. Yeah, that does suck. Welcome to the real world. Get used to things sucking. It's bro, I'm not just gonna accept that my life is gonna get less fun and less exciting. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't.
I refuse to accept that.
I will make sure that's not the case.
I will ensure that by 40, I'm thinking, wow, every year just keeps getting better.
Yeah. Kind of like how a lot of people say college is the best time of their lives, which...
Dude, if college is the best time of my life, I will be depressed.
Mm-hmm. I just think it is a little saddening that not only do people... It's not only is college clearly the best part of people's lives, but a lot of people are acknowledging it and not doing anything about it. They're acknowledging that their life is not as fun and exciting as it used to be, and that's still not enough fuel to go make...
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I
That's
think it is
absurd.
crazy. It is absurd.
The
It
fact
doesn't
that
really make sense to me.
that you should accept that is insane.
Still need some for water.
The fact that is expected, and not only what you said, but people, maybe subconsciously or consciously, they want you to welcome to the real world. Or any phrase that is similar to that in the same energy, they want you to basically go, man, this sucks, and be like, yeah, it does.
Yeah, they
like,
do.
join me, it sucks.
Yeah.
Bro, what's that saying? Suffering loves company?
Yeah. Misery.
Misery loves company, bro. And you will wake up, and if you start becoming aware of how negative everyone is, you will walk outside and realize that every single conversation you are having is negative. Like, straight up. 90-something%. In Texas in the summer, walk outside, everyone will talk about the weather and how hot it is and how miserable it is. And I'm a culprit of that, too. I don't know what to say. Let me just complain about the weather. Let me complain about it.
It is. It's like an easy way.
Hey, man, it's so hot out. Life just sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, this summer just sucks. Life just sucks. Okay, have a good one.
Yeah, you like meet someone and it's like y'all are both walking like, it sure is a hot one, ain't it? Man, this sucks.
This sucks.
Like,
look at my car. This sucks.
You don't see someone walk by someone else and be like, man, it is just a beautiful day out. Like how, I love what you're wearing, man. It's a beautiful day. I'm happy to be alive. What about you? Like,
dude,
people don't express that amount of positivity, and I mean, obviously,
do you?
Well, I try to. I will definitely admit that I don't do it 100% of the time. I don't think you can. We are humans. We have emotions, and you're not going to just be gleeful and happy and joyful every day. But you can definitely be conscious of it, and I think that's the first step. I think most people aren't conscious of it.
The first step is becoming aware.
Yeah, become aware, and then you can't work on something if you're not even aware it's a problem. You can't.
Like
if you don't know an issue exists, how are you going to fix it, or at least
like the first step to getting over addiction is realizing you have addiction.
Yeah.
The first step to anything is just realizing it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, I just say that because recently, because of a book that my friend Will Coons recommended to me, it's called A New Earth, that you just got. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it. That book made me realize how much it calls it the pain body in the book, and just how much your pain body, what it refers to is this just thing that just loves, just like a vacuum, just sucking in as much negative as we can. In the news, bro, turn on the news and realize everything it's saying is so negative. It is so rare to turn on the TV and see something positive.
It is.
And then you turn around and you get upset that some dude in El Paso died. Bro, straight up, I'm sorry for that dude, but why are we talking about him? Like, no one is dying on the street that I see with my eyes. Why are we always talking like everybody's dying?
Like, everyone does
Everyone is dying.
Everyone literally does die.
According to the TV, everyone is dying everywhere, and everyone's getting shot, and everyone's getting robbed.
And everyone's
dying. But then I go outside, and I don't know anyone who's got robbed, and I don't know anyone. The most thing I know is people getting their laptops stolen from their car. We live in a nice neighborhood, granted, or nice area, very nice. But to the point being,
I mean, definitely don't get it twisted. We acknowledge that there's areas that this stuff does happen and it's prevalent and it's a problem. But point being that the average person likely doesn't have to deal with, shootings on a daily basis, I would assume. Hopefully. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think the average American is having to run and hide from a shooter on a daily basis.
Some definitely are.
Some probably do on a consistent basis, and that is an issue. And I definitely feel for those people, and I'm sympathetic. But
it really does us no good just to just to mope about
this
negative energy happening over there. Okay, let's broadcast it to all thousands of people. Make sure they receive this negative, and then just turn and talk to their friends about how sad the world is.
Right. Well, it's almost like we spend so much energy just talking about problems, which is fine. But when's the last time you heard the news and it was like somebody they're interviewing them because they proposed a solution to the problem? Like, when are we talking about the solutions? How are you going to fix the problems if no one's talking about solutions? I mean, I'm sure some government officials will bring up a solution and then throw bullshit in the package to fit their agenda, which is the whole reason that our system is getting nothing done. Because, I mean, it doesn't really matter what side you lean towards. Both sides are culprits of it.
Dude, I mean, with the presidential race coming around, I hope to God that it doesn't just. I mean, every single 4 years it's the same thing. It's just
feels like it gets worse every election.
It's the left taking the rights. It's the blacks mad at the whites. It's the Mexicans mad at it's the
straights.
It's the white people mad at the Mexicans. It's the straights versus the gays.
Right.
It's us versus them.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Us versus them. When in reality we need to come together. Like, Yeah.
Shout out.
Bro, that's magical. We do need to come together, bro. And people need to believe in themselves. And stop talking about negative things all the time. Although, is this negative? Me being mad about it?
Well, I don't think we're necessarily saying it in such a negative way. I mean, we're saying it in the sense that we're optimistic that we'll be able to make change about it. So, like we said, diagnosing a problem is the first step. So obviously that's going to be somewhat negative. It's an issue. It's a problem. It can't be inherent. Well, most of the time that's not going to be something, it's going to be inherently negative. But yeah, I mean, but probably honestly to an extent, we might be culprits of it right now. Not to be unprofessional, but I need to check my notes app to see if I'm missing anything.
Yeah, bro, let's get into why you check those questions, because I know you wrote down questions for me, because I'm going to be...
I've already got into most of them.
I'm going to be the next Socrates. I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to have a yacht. So there's a lot to unload there. But,
okay.
But let's get into what exactly I'm doing this year. I don't know.
I do have one more pretty big question that I think I know the answer to. Like I said, I think I have a good idea
Bring it
of your
on,
answer
brother.
to most of these, but I want the people to hear. So
the thousands,
hundreds of thousands, millions, whatever. The people close to us, obviously, those of you that don't know him, he went and studied abroad in Spain for 4 months, and although by no means did he get ultra famous or no influencer status or anything like that, but there were a lot of eyes on him, a lot of people that
which I didn't realize till going back to college this summer.
Right. So kind of
which has been, just to say what you're saying, every single person that I went up to at college, I genuinely was like, oh my gosh, is this what it's like to be famous? Because and it was like in a not so good way. Every single person that I saw was so excited to see me. I was so excited to see them, every single person as well. But the first question was Spain. What did I do? I saw all your videos you were making, and I was just flabbergasted at how many people saw it, at how many people were telling me how much it impacted them. Which I said that was not a good thing about being famous. It actually was insanely inspiring.
Yeah.
To be like, oh my gosh, people are actually seeing this.
And it's like
people,
and it's impacting their
you
lives,
think 20 people comment, 20 people really care, the 20 people who comment. Bro, there's way more people that are talking about it. Every single person I saw was like, bro, I saw your stuff, and I was like, what? Like,
dude, yeah.
And people were, one girl was almost like tearing up. She was like, bro, seeing what you're doing just like gives me so much like hope. And I was
dude,
like,
that's beautiful.
Whoa.
No, that's beautiful.
So
that's
what I'm referring to, which was just wild.
Yeah.
Because I was like, bro, is this what making an impact is?
Right. And I think that's a good image of kind of where you want to take this moving forward. I mean, that's a good small sample size of what you want to do on a larger scale. But kind of basically what he just said, how you talked about and discussed with me how all these people are coming up to you and asking you, which made us realize that you do have way more eyes on you than we first thought. So the question, I guess, is knowing that these eyes are on you of people we know, and knowing that whether you succeed or fail could have an impact on whether they do believe in themselves to do something similar or not. Like if you, one of the most inspiring people to them, don't succeed, then they're sure as heck not going to, some of these people sure as heck aren't going to try something as crazy as what you're trying. So do you feel pressure from that? And if so, is that pressure impacting you in a positive or negative way?
That does feel like pressure, but I love pressure. I think that...
Pressure makes diamonds, baby.
Dude, earlier you asked, what is realistic? And I actually feel like looking back at my life, there are things that were unrealistic until I did it. And so, because I put so much pressure on myself. So that pressure of my friends looking up to me, and if I succeed and follow my dreams and I actually do it, that it will then inspire them, or vice versa. It would then just discourage them and be like, okay, well, if he can't do it, then I definitely can't do it, because that dude was
built different.
That dude was not stopping.
Yeah.
16 hours a day, whatever. So, dude, bring on the pressure, bro. The more pressure, the more that makes me get my shit together.
Yeah. That's a good answer. I like that.
I have an example of this in my life. I mean, at one point in my life, I was pressure washing a driveway, which is what I do for my job. I own my own business. I've never had a job to this day. A job. I've never worked for someone else. I've had a job for sure. I've never been employed. I'll see if I continue my entire life and get to my deathbed and say that I've never been employed, which would be an insane statement. I don't think many people can say that.
Yeah, that would
dude,
be
how many people can say that? I mean, how many people
Very
at 20
few.
have said I've never been employed? Not once.
No, I do think part of that is the fact that we were able to grow up more privileged than the average person, which we do acknowledge. So
But I mean, as soon as I had...
By no means is working a job bad. We understand a lot of people need to do that to support their family. And shout out to those doing that. That's
I mean,
great.
yeah, living in a nice area has made me be able to chase the money that these people have.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But I mean, I was like, okay, I need to get a job. At 16, I did it myself. Where am I going with this? The pressure? Oh,
yeah.
So at one point in my life, I was pressure washing a driveway. And I had my AirPods in, and I was listening to YouTube, and I was still a brokey. Still am a brokey, but I was even more of a brokey. And my mom I was not, at this point I'm logged into my mom's YouTube Red, so I don't have to listen to the ads. Actually, she got me for Christmas. Anyway, I was a brokey, and I had to listen to the ads. Thank God, though, because the ad was for a charity called Charity Water, and the ad was just playing on I was like, bro, this ad needs to, and I was like, I was about to pull up my phone and skip the ad, and I was like, no, let me listen to this ad. I was like, this is... You know those few ads that are like, dude, I want to watch it.
Occasionally,
and
it's rare.
It's so fulfilling, bro. It's like,
rare.
Thank God, there's a good ad that I am like wanting to watch more than the video.
And it's got to be a good ad these days because we're so used to just skipping it. So for an ad to actually like catch your attention these days, it's got to be pretty damn good.
It was. And it was telling the story of how this guy, it was just telling, there's like a biography of this guy, how he went from a nightclub promoter to partying, to just living this crazy life, and now he runs a charity to help give people water in Africa. Basically a whole story of him going from one to the other. And then the ad went into his organization about people who had given up their birth. It was like 8-year-old little kids going, I gave up my 8th-year-old birthday for charity water and donated my birthday. Hi, my name's Susan, I'm 40 years old, and I gave my 37th birthday. 40 years old, my 37th birthday. My name is Shaquisha, and I gave my 18th birthday. My name is Limon Trisha, and I gave my 8th birthday. And at the end of it, I was like, bro, I should do that for my Christmas money. I was like, oh my gosh, I'll donate my Christmas money. It could be like $400-$500. I got home, I went to their website, and I was like, bro. And then I saw on the website, it said, sponsor your own well. So literally build your entire own well for $10,000. And I was like, bro. Well, what if I just got everyone to do this? It's everyone I know. And I think I called Austin Smith, and we talked.
Shout out Austin.
Shout out Austin, love that dude. He's at camp right now, so he won't be seeing this. I hope he'd watch it anyway. Austin, I love you. But we went I called him in my room, and I went walking back and forth, literally in my room, just walking on the carpet. And then I would hung up, and we talked. I was like, bro, what if we did this? And he was like, bro, do it. And I just went walking back and forth for like an hour and a half. I was like, bro, screw it. I'm just going to post it. And I had a lot of TikTok followers at the time. And so I made a whole TikTok thing. And I was like, bro, this is going to be so embarrassing if this fails. I'm just going to say, let's donate $10,000. Like, as if us right now just said, let's do it. And then you just like, do I post it? Okay, I'll post it.
Yeah.
And so I just say that pressure was so good because I posted it on TikTok. And it flopped. At the time I had like 70,000 TikTok followers. And I was like, bro, I remember donating someone the other week to $1 for him to buy a trampoline. Like, I just like saw videos like, bro, screw it. I'll Venmo this guy. And so I did a whole thing on TikTok, and it failed. And I remember that day I went to, I think you were probably with me, we went to a basketball game at Oak Ridge, or a volleyball game, and we were with all of our friends, and I was like, bro, this is so embarrassing. But that is the entire point of all of this. This whole story comes back to just putting pressure on myself. And I go, bro, I've already said this. I need to figure out how to do it. Mm-hmm. I know the destination, but how am I going to get there?
Yeah, you knew the vision.
I know I'm going to be Socrates. How am I going to get there? I know I'm going to be a billionaire.
How do we attain it?
What?
But how do we attain it?
Yeah. So that pressure, bro, I think pressure creates diamonds. I think that pressure of just being so confident in your goals and just outwardly saying them, I think if you really believe in it, I almost think that's what you can call it manifesting, you can call it God, you can pray about. I mean, dude, you create your reality. If you believe in something so much to where you will say it so many times that it becomes a thing almost in the air, I think that is pretty much. I think you can. It's like if someone says something with 100% confidence, I'm like, dude, I think we'll get it.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Beast, watching him on YouTube, I'm like, that dude could tell me in 10 years I'm gonna be on the moon, and I would believe him. I'd be like,
yeah, I would too.
That dude will figure it out.
At this point, how could you not?
That dude will figure it out.
He'd probably be like, yeah, it's on my schedule. Yeah, 10 years from now, you just ask Mr. Beast, what are you doing in 10 years? Let me check my schedule. It says I'm supposed to be on the moon. He's just like, so that's where I'll be. He's like, okay.
Bro, but
sounds good to me.
That pressure, I think, is good. So I think that any more pressure on my life, and sometimes I don't know if I'm going to finish college. I don't even know what I'm doing. Or I do know what I'm doing, but...
No, you do. Let's hear about it.
I know exactly what I'm doing. But in terms of like that pressure, like, oh, my parents are not going to like if I don't finish college. And then I'm like, and I talked to my friend Ozzy from California, and he's like, bro, that's a good thing. Like, you want that fire under your ass. I'm like, dude, you know what? Bring it on. I need as much motivation as possible. Why not?
Yeah, true. So you are at least tentatively dropping out of college, or you could call it a gap semester for this fall semester to go to Asia, which you've already discussed. So what do you intend on going back to college?
Have I discussed that?
Briefly. You could get into that.
So I'm going to Asia with my friend Kurt Teuscher, my boy. We're saving up money this summer ourselves by pressure washing and staining fences. If you need your fence stained, or if you get your parents to do it, we'll give you $100 or maybe even $200 because that's the price of. That's what this whole video is actually for. This is an ad.
Intermission. Sponsoring this video is Grayson Brock Pressure Washing.
Actually, we changed it to Suds and Studs.
Oh, Suds and Studs.
Thank you. But now we're staining fences, so that doesn't work. But me and Kurt are saving up our money. We're trying to make $25,000 as a company, and we're gonna split that. However, we're splitting it, and then we're gonna go to use that money and go to Asia and backpack and record the entire thing and try and break the internet and try and become the next Logan Paul and try and break the internet.
Do it, brother.
I mean, it sounds like a pretty simple, you know.
It sounds simple when you say
go to
it.
Asia.
Save up money. Step one, save up money.
It's a 3-step plan.
Save up money.
Well, the 4th step is becoming
Hop on the plane.
Socrates.
Hop on the plane and go to Asia. Become the next Logan Paul. I don't see any flaws. It seems very simple. Become the next Socrates. Die a martyr. It's that simple, guys.
I will never kill myself. If they ever have me in jail and they claim I killed myself, I will never kill myself. It's so funny because we're nowhere near that point.
No, absolutely not.
And I know
both
that,
sound like an absolute idiot.
I know, and we wear these suits, bro. I'm wearing like a tuxedo shirt and my dad's shirt. Like, what? But like, that's the whole point of this, bro, is me and Noah I'm tired of...
We're fucking nobodies right now, basically.
Dude.
We are no ones right now.
But we believe we're someone.
Well, that's the first step, bro.
That is the first step, bro.
Well, to these people, we're nobody. To us, we are. Like, absolutely. But
Dude,
yeah, to y'all...
it's so real.
To y'all watching this right now, just assume we're fucking no one. But you will see us again in the future, and then you'll realize we are someone. So... I
mean, bro, on a micro scale, everybody's someone.
Of course, yeah.
Everyone can make such a big impact.
Yeah.
Dude. If there's one thing that I want to say, dude, I just wish people would believe in themselves. Like, actually. And question what they've been told, bro.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have intentions of going back to college after this?
I don't see... Okay, so I'm going to Asia, and I'm basically... I guess you could say I'm trying to be a YouTuber, but I'm not...
Or an influencer.
Yeah.
Podcaster.
I'm trying to make money from my videos somehow. Whether that's making an apparel or I'm going to figure out how to make money, I'm going to figure out how to do it. And if that fails, I will then turn around and start another entrepreneurship thing.
Yeah.
And if that fails, I will then turn around and start another entrepreneurship thing. And if that fails, I will then turn around and start another entrepreneurship thing with you or with Max.
Or with someone, yeah.
It's just gonna keep going, bro. I do not want to... I am not fit to live a normal life. I am not normal. I cannot see myself at 30 married with a kid, just relaxing at home after each
watching
day.
Netflix.
There's just no way, bro. I don't do that now. I tweak out, bro. I never stop thinking. I just can't see myself having a normal job. I don't see what I would use my degree for.
Hallelujah.
I don't understand it. I don't understand, and I know that sounds crazy. It's a backup plan. Like, bro, you don't want a backup plan. I'm thinking so much bigger than this. This, to me, that is a hell plan for me. Like,
That's such a great way
if I am using
hell plan.
Dude, if I'm using my degree, I think that I will be. I don't believe it. I don't believe in depression. Like, I will have depression. I mean, I do believe that's another story. If I'm using my degree to have a job, I don't know what word you want to say to be depressed. I will be insanely. I will be going
unsatisfied.
I will be going crazy.
Spilled.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
So, bro,
Very
are my intentions, bro? If this YouTube thing, if I don't figure out how to make money from that, I'll turn around and start something new. If that doesn't work out, I'll turn around and start something new. I have so much drive that I will figure out how to make money. I will figure out how to make just as much money as a 9-to-5, 100%. In fact, I could already do it probably right now. If I put all of my grit into starting a pressure washing and fence staining company, which besides making money, I have zero passion for, literally zero. I do not give a damn about it. I mean, besides the little bit of helping neighbors and meeting neighbors, I think that's fun. But the actual work, I have no passion towards, and I could see myself turning that pretty easily into a... Like, if I went all in, theoretically, I could make at least 6 figures.
Right. which you don't want to do because you
I
don't
do
have
not.
the
I mean, no,
passion.
I'm not even gonna do that. But
Yeah.
I've just already thought. I'm like, bro, I could do that with this.
Like if you needed to.
If I
you
needed
could do
to,
it,
and
right.
I would rather do that, and I know I will learn more from that than if I have a job making the same amount.
Right.
Like, bro, I see, and I'm not crapping on everyone with a 9 to 5, bro. But if I see the path that's laid out in front of me, if I go to college, get an internship, get a job, and I meet these people that have these jobs, I'm like, bro, if I was in your shoes, I would be going crazy. Because in college, I'm going crazy. That's why I went abroad, and that's why I'm going to Asia now. Is because freshman and sophomore year, bro, I had it all together. I joined a fraternity. There's just parties all the time, bro. I'm getting invited to date events all the time. It's amazing in terms of the party,
The social life.
The social life
Right.
is just it wasn't. And I had no friends. I still have so many lifelong friends that I hope I will keep the rest of my life. And I love the people I met at college, but I was just every single day I'd go back to my room, bro, and I'd be like, this can't be it.
Right.
But I felt like that always. Like, this can't be it, dude. Every single night I feel like this can't be it. This can't be it of the day. Is that all? Is that as cool as this day gets? Is that as cool as this weekend gets? Like waking up on a Sunday going, bro, is that it? Is this the college
Feeling like
experience?
shit on a Sunday.
Yeah,
Like,
is this it? Is this the best times of people's lives? Because, bro, I'm not even that happy right now. I have not done anything I want to do. And I just see myself thinking so much bigger than most people around me that I just don't see how I was fitting in with this, like, the just where it was going, bro. And I'm reading so many books of my own and learning so much more.
Right.
So much more, bro.
Yeah, one thing I think is interesting is, I mean, not everybody that writes a book is an expert, but a lot of books are written by experts, you know, I'm talking about nonfiction books, are written about experts on the subject. And a lot of, again, not all, but a lot of college classes I feel like aren't taught by experts. Sometimes it'll literally be a dude that just got out of like graduate school and now he's teaching a class. Like, this dude's not an expert. So it's like so expected that we should learn all this stuff in college from these non-experts most of the time. I'm sure there's some professors that are experts, but like when you really could just not go to college, which it seems like you're probably going to not go back. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Brock, but that's probably the reality. And read books and, well, learn from books and learn from life experiences. But you know you can read books from experts on different topics and learn more and different things that you probably wouldn't even learn in school about different various topics. So I do think that's interesting.
That's a good point, dude.
And that's not, I mean,
Talking about
education,
accessible information.
the
bro.
education system is very hard to think of a optimization for, because there's so many people that need to be educated. Like, you can't get an expert for every single classroom. It's very difficult. So I'm not saying I know the solution to it, but I am saying that books, basically what I'm saying is books seem to be undervalued, at least in our generation.
Bro,
like, no one in our
books-
generation really reads. It's very few and far between. Maybe in older generations, in fact, I know that they probably read more, but yeah. In our generation, it doesn't seem like as many people read, and that is saddening because there's a lot of good information in books. So
Bro, books are like $10.
they're so cheap.
And it could be someone's life's work.
Yeah, so it could be literally everything someone's learned in their entire life for $10, 200 pages, 250 pages. Like,
It's not even the money. People will admit it's
4
the time.
days of reading.
It's the time investment.
Yeah,
But
true.
it's sitting down and not stimulating your brain.
No, it is stimulating your brain.
Yeah.
Well,
What's
I
the
guess
word?
I can see what you're saying.
It's not. You
It's not
almost
filling
have
you
to,
with
you have to
dopamine.
get into. It's weird, bro, because I've realized this. It's like anything you do in literally anything. You start listening to a song, you click on it, but you have to wait for the song to get going to kind of get into it. You know.
Right.
If
Like,
you go,
it
if
has
you go
the
outside
intro
and open a
and it
book,
starts slow. Yeah.
you start a movie. You can shut it off pretty easily at the beginning.
Yeah, like, you're not into it yet. You're just meeting the character.
And every time you go outside to read, and you have to wait past the 10-minute mark. I don't know.
To really get
I'm sure
into
it's
it.
different. And then all of a sudden you'll be in this like flow state of like, this is so fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is so. I can see the whole what's happening here in my head, like straight up. I'm visualizing it as I'm reading.
Yeah, I mean, that's how books. I think that's how books are meant to be read. You know, you should.
I mean, because
You're reading the words and they're creating a vision in your
You
head.
are the one creating the movie as a movie or television screen,
created.
which you can learn from. However, it is telling you how to view it, and it is almost, it's, you know, the book is so much more. You know, the movie has to bring it way forward and bring it in front of your face,
Right.
and then the book is back here. You're like, oh, this is what it's saying.
Your brain is doing a lot more work with this,
Your
which is why it's
brain
so
is
healthy.
creating, yeah, bro.
Because films are great, videos, powerful tools, movies, powerful tools,
This
podcasts,
is a
powerful
video, bro.
tools. Yeah, this is video, powerful tool, but it isn't. Well, I mean, a lot of podcasts still are brain stimulating and make you think, but like, if you're just mindlessly scrolling on TikTok, you're not thinking. If you spend all of your free time mindlessly scrolling TikTok, Instagram, even a lot of YouTube is not. YouTube has a lot of beneficial things. It has a lot of time wasters, time sucks on there too. I mean, if you're just watching things mindlessly and not stimulating your brain, you're not gonna really progress, you know. And I actually think that's a big reason why people struggle to read. You know, a lot of people, including myself, I mean, I've had times where I'm trying to read a book and I read 2 pages, and I bet a lot of people will relate to this, and I don't even, like, I get 2 pages back. I get 2 pages forward, and I'm like,
everybody says this.
I'm like, what did I just read? Like, I was just, my brain, like, fell out of the book while my eyes were going through the words, and, like, my brain was thinking about something else, and then you get to a point, and you're like, I don't know what I just read, and you gotta go back. I already know a lot of people can relate to that, but I think that's a byproduct of our generation's attention span being absolutely fucking terrible from short form, you know, all the short form content, and everything's like 15 seconds now. I mean, even before that, just mindlessly scrolling with long form content wasn't great for brain stimulation either, but it is getting worse, and it's a little scary. That's the downside. There's upsides, there's downsides, but yeah, go read some fucking books.
Including us, bro. We need to read more books.
We do need to read more books.
Should we take a quick...
I'm going to go watch this, and I'm going to be pointing right at myself.
Start
And it'll
with
make
the
me
man
go
in the
read a
mirror.
book.
Quick intermission.
I guess before we wrap it up, just one interesting question that may not be super relevant to the topics of this podcast, but just thought it would be interesting.
Lay it on me.
Either what person or what event in history do you find most interesting? And you can say Jesus.
I'm going to say the moon landing.
Okay.
Because, and as soon as we get to Mars, then it'll be the Mars landing, I think. But I think humans going towards multiplanetary, this is from listening to Elon Musk podcast. As soon as planets start going multiplanetary, I know in the grand scheme of space, we're not going anywhere. We haven't, like, Mars is just not even that far.
No, not.
I mean, but everything is relative. But if we actually get a base going on Mars, I mean, we will be multiplanetary. I mean, I think that moment in history was insane.
Go to the moon.
Yeah.
Assuming it's real.
But I was also reading this book
Some
called...
people may not think so.
True. This book called Sapiens, and it talks about how certainly in the past, humans going from the first time we like made boats and left, had to be equivalent, if not more important than us going to the moon.
Yeah.
This is the first time that we had just gone
Just to the unknown.
to the unknown.
Right.
So, but I don't know, dude. I think if we got multiplanetary, I think that'd be crazy, because not only then would we not die out if one planet failed. I also heard to be multiplanetary, Elon Musk is going to be like 1 million people on Mars. It's way more than I thought.
Wow.
I thought it would be like 200 or something.
Yeah, 1 million. That's like a legit society over there.
That's what he said. He said a self-sustaining society that if no one else came, they would live.
Wow.
And I think that would be the biggest moment. I mean, as far as we see, we don't know any aliens exist. Therefore, there is a chance that we are the only thing conscious in this entire universe.
I asked this dude a question about history, and his answer was about the future. So that should show you how future-focused he is. So,
Bro,
yeah,
the future is ours, bro.
Future is ours. I guess that wraps it up. But it was good to be on, bro. I hope I did a good job.
Bro, you did great.
Getting the people what they want. So
You did great, my boy.
sir, thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Noah, for being on.
Looking forward to seeing the future of this podcast and all the
And
content
you'll be
in
on
Asia.
here. You'll be on here, bro.
Bro, yeah, if you want to get me on and interview me, we can make it happen.
Yeah, dude, we should do
Let
that.
me know when. I
More-
can shill my business just like you shilled yours.
More deep talks to come. We'll see what happens. And thank you so much. Again, if you enjoy my videos, please help support me during Asia. And you can even support me this summer by getting your parents to hire me for a fence standing or pressure washing. And I will pay you maybe like $100 to help us get a job. Like straight up.
This is gonna be hilarious. Like somebody listening to this, if we do make it in like 5 years, and they look back at you like, I'll pay you
Trying
$100
to
to
sell
get a pressure
myself.
wash. That's so funny.
Alright, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. We have had so much technical difficulties with the camera.
Oh my
It's
God.
insane. It's like 2 a.m. and I gotta get up early to
This was supposed to start at 8:30
pressure
p.m.
wash and
This
dry.
was supposed to start at 8:30 p.m. We started a little. I got here a little bit late, and then it's now 2 something a.m.
You did say as soon as you got here, I don't care how long this takes. We're gonna
Yeah.
get one up.
Well, this is proof.
Yeah.
We're making sure it gets
And I
done.
hope right now when we go to the camera, it's recording.
Oh, fuck. We'll see.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Let's go.